This is a forgotten Grimm fairy tale the world chose to forget, whispered rather than celebrated, and remembered for its sharpness rather than comfort. It is a story where cleverness cuts like a blade, and power smiles only when it is outwitted. Nothing here is gentle, and nothing is free. A poor farmer once lived at the edge of a kingdom, working land that barely fed him. One day, while plowing his field, he uncovered a heavy golden mortar buried in the soil. He lifted it with shaking hands, knowing at once that such a thing never belonged to a man like him. The farmer feared the king, but he feared dishonesty more. He brought the mortar to the palace and presented it as a gift, explaining where he had found it. The king accepted it, then narrowed his eyes and asked where the pestle was. The farmer swore there had been none. The king did not believe him. Convinced the peasant was hiding part of the treasure, he had the man thrown into prison, there to remain until the pestle was produced. The farmer had a daughter, known in the village for her sharp mind and quiet manner. When she heard what had happened, she went to the king and asked to speak. She said the mortar could not have had a pestle, just as a field could not give birth to a child. The king laughed despite himself, but did not release the farmer. Instead, he tested the daughter. He ordered her to come to him neither clothed nor naked, neither riding nor walking, neither on the road nor off it. She returned at dawn, wrapped only in a fishing net. One foot dragged along the ground while the other rested on a goat, and she kept to the edge of the road so that she was neither on it nor away from it. The king, struck by her wit, freed her father at once. Impressed, and perhaps unsettled, the king took her as his wife. Yet he set one condition before the wedding was complete. If she ever interfered in his judgments, she would be sent away with nothing but what she could carry. For a time, she remained silent. Then two peasants came before the king in dispute. One owned a cow, the other claimed its calf. The king ruled that the calf belonged to the man who had found it lying in the road. The queen quietly advised the wronged peasant to pretend he had found a foal beneath his cart and to bring the matter before the king. When the king heard this, he called it nonsense, saying a cart could not give birth. The peasant replied that neither could a road give birth to a calf. The king realized at once who had spoken through him. Furious at being corrected, he ordered the queen to leave the palace that very night. He told her she might take with her only one thing she valued most. She bowed her head, said nothing, and asked only to share a final meal with him. The king agreed. That night, she poured strong wine until the king fell into a deep sleep. She then had him lifted gently into a chest and carried away to her father's cottage. When the king awoke, he found himself in darkness and straw. The queen stood before him and said calmly that he had allowed her to take what she loved most. She had taken him. The king was silent for a long time. Then he laughed, for he knew he had been defeated fairly. He returned with her to the palace and never again forbade her counsel. Thus the farmer's daughter remained queen, not by birth or beauty, but by a mind sharper than any crown. And the kingdom remembered quietly that power fears nothing more than intelligence spoken softly.